Puerto Rican Voices is brought to you by the Center for Puerto Rican Studies, with the generous support of the New York City Council and Hunter College of the City University of New York.
Welcome to Puerto Rican Voices. Saludos. My name is Edwin Melendez. I'm the director of the Center for Puerto Rican Studies at Hunter College, Centro. Today we're talking about the aftermath of Hurricane Maria and its effects in the housing sector in Puerto Rico. Housing was a sector highly affected by Hurricane Maria. According to studies from the Center for Puerto Rican Studies, Hurricane Maria caused major damages to over 10,000 homes. In addition to that, more than 250,000 vacant housing units existed prior to the storm. And to talk more about this topic, we have with us Limaris Albor. Limaris is the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of ACACIA Network. Limaris, have you been working in housing in Puerto Rico for a long time, before and after Hurricane Maria?
Gracias, yes. ACACIA has been working in Puerto Rico for the past 7 years.
What can you tell us about the current housing situation in Puerto Rico and ACACIA's affordable housing development?
The situation in Puerto Rico regarding housing has been an issue for many years, way before the Hurricane Maria. The Hurricane Maria, of course, that made things worse, especially for special populations, the seniors, for example. ACACIA, Raul Rusi, the CEO of ACACIA Network, and the board of ACACIA decided 7 years ago, when nobody was talking about going back to Puerto Rico, they decided that it was time to explore if we could contribute to Puerto Rico, and if we could partner with local people to build housing. So after many years, after many meetings and really identifying local consultants, we were able to receive funding from the Housing Financial Authority in Puerto Rico, and we built 103 units of affordable housing for seniors. It's right now in the lease-up process, and we are looking to use this as a platform to build more senior housing in Puerto Rico.
Fantastic effort. Limaris, can you tell us more about your experience in launching housing development in Puerto Rico? And what do you think is the role of the diaspora in that effort? And whether you also interacted with volunteers, and what is your experience in regard to housing development in Puerto Rico?
Okay, let me tell you how ACACIA does things. Raul was invited to visit Puerto Rico about 8 years ago, way before I started working at the organization. And Raul was hesitant because there is capacity in Puerto Rico. There are developers in Puerto Rico. There are people that know how to do this. So Raul felt there was no need for ACACIA to go. And someone from Puerto Rico said, there is a need to partner. There is a need to bring that expertise and collaborate together.
I agree.
So that invitation made Raul felt, okay, as long as it's a collaboration, as long as it's a true partnership, he will invest. And he invested about $1.5 million in pre-development, which at that time, a lot of the local developers did not have the dollars, because the economy, as we know, has been very, it's been struggling for many years. So the experience was, we knocked at doors. We met with a beautiful architect firm that have done a project similar to what we wanted to do. And we started with that consultant. And let me explain to you, when we went to Puerto Rico, we did not want it to build like just a building moving, like a high-rise building, if you will. We wanted to create a community. We wanted to design something with the active design elements. So the building that we wanted to be needed to have a courtyard, and that's kind of unheard of in Puerto Rico because you spend more money, right? It's a courtyard, and it's, but we were not going to do it any other ways. We hired the architect, and from the architect, then we found all this, like 10 consultants in Puerto Rico, and they really were the drivers. We were, if you will, we were the investors, the developers, but everything was really done and designed by local consultants. Our pledge was that if we get this project done, our developer fees were going to get reinvested in Puerto Rico. And all of this is before Maria. So when Maria happens, we already had people in Puerto Rico. We already have consultants. We have contacts. The other thing is that we have also been working with the Loisaida Center, which is a cultural arm of ACACIA Network. And we, for the past 7 years, have been bringing artists to the Lower East Side. When Maria happened, we have like an army of local Puerto Rican people that were telling us where the need was, what they were finding, and they asked us, to deliver the aid very carefully, if you will.
This experience, I think, is very exemplary of what the diaspora can do in Puerto Rico, to partner with local developers, to partner with local organizations, and really help them build capacity, local capacity, to address the multiple problems that we face, certainly in the midst of the economic crisis. But here at Puerto Rican Voices, we have interviewed several organizations that are also working in the housing sector, and we would like to watch a few clips, a few interviews that will give you a little bit of a context, certainly to our audience. I would like you to comment on that on the other side of the interviews. The first clip that we have is about CUNY students volunteering in Puerto Rico. They went last summer. CUNY and SUNY added to over 500 students. So it was a very important effort, connected our youth to what was happening in Puerto Rico, and they felt really empowered. So let's watch this clip.
Fue una experiencia sorpresiva, destructivo total, porque en mi edad es la primera vez que pasó uno de esa categoría. El daño que me causó a mí fue en el exterior de la casa, fue sobre el techo de la casa. También se mojó cama y se mojó todo. Yo digo que los estudiantes llegaron aquí por una bendición del cielo.
Seeing the houses, how they are right now, and the trees, it is actually worse than I thought.
Well, the main task is for us to be fixing roofs. That's the main task for us. Everybody here on this particular first trip, we're supposed to be here fixing different persons' roofs.
The first day, the lady downstairs, the homeowner, Doña Marta, was really excited to see us. And she wasn't expecting this many people. She was expecting like 2 or 3 people to fix her roof. When we saw this many students, she was really grateful with us.
Por la mañana ellos llegan con una sonrisa en su cara, que se ven tan feliz, que se le nota la felicidad, como que se sienten bien, como que se sienten feliz, como que se sienten a tono con lo que están haciendo y dónde lo están haciendo.
Nahama is the Jewish response to disaster, so we follow behind the big storms that come through different parts of the United States, and we help rebuild or do some of the repair work following those big storms. I have 19 CUNY students here with me, and they have just been so awesome.
We actually have 2 days pre-training, like pre-orientation, so that way we will kind of be prepared to what we're going to and what we were going to do.
We're trying to reach people that aren't being reached by other methods. A lot of the people that are receiving assistance from us maybe were denied assistance through federal means. So we're trying to reach people that really just don't have alternatives.
there's a real problem down here. It's not just a few people that died, it's 4,000 people that died, and it's thousands others that got affected. Homes are really bad down here. The people are in bad shape.
You know, everything looks a little bit different, and it's even more than the aesthetic of Puerto Rico. It's more about, you know, the people as well. I feel a lot of hope, but I also feel a lot of fear, and you know, that's why we're here, just to let people know that we're here to help them and that they're not alone.
When I heard that Governor Como was putting this thing together and inviting students to come to do their part, to represent New York and to represent CUNY and SUNY, I thought it was the best idea ever. The kids are great. Lovely bunch of students, lovely, lovely. We are blessed to have these kids with us.
Preparing the world.
Coming up next at Puerto Rican Voices.
The fact that we have a Center for Puerto Rican Studies is something that you can't get anywhere else.
I'd say it's probably the most important research resource for anyone learning about the diaspora.
People who are passionate about our history and culture can go and learn more about who we are.
Centro pinpoints and expresses what Puerto Ricans are all about, what their history is all about, their culture.
As a journalist, it's very useful because it provides well-researched statistics of our communities throughout the United States.
And the journal is unique in that it is the only journal that publishes research articles on the Puerto Rican experience.
You can find old records, you can find old photographs, you can even find old puppets from the Pura del Pre archives.
It holds our history and protects it. And without Centro, without the archives, without the library, all these materials would be in jeopardy.
Welcome back to Puerto Rican Voices.
Limaris, I'm sure that clip, those interviews really resonated with you in many ways, right? So based on your experience, what are the lessons that we've learned as we build this bridge of relationships between the diaspora and Puerto Rico?
That we need each other and that it's the volunteer spirit came back. In Puerto Rico, the local nonprofits did a lot of volunteer work. They took the street, cleaned the street. They were not getting paid for doing that. And the diaspora also went and said, we're here, we're going to volunteer, we're going to help you. And it's beautiful to see. It's beautiful. And when I go to Puerto Rico, they really appreciate this. They welcome the help. They feel that we did not leave them alone. They feel that other people and other departments, yes, and actors left them alone, but the diaspora was there from day one. And no matter where I go, I hear that.
And we're redefining that relationship as we go along.
Yes.
And there's so many things have changed in Puerto Rico. You know, you cannot talk about the future without solar energy. And now people know the value of having, rehabbing housing and doing more affordable housing in Puerto Rico. So what are ACACIA's plans for the future? How do you think that this experience informs your next steps down there in the island?
You know that we did a Ayuda fund and we pledged 1 million and then we raised another million. So the first million was really in immediate need. So the solar, the tarps and lots of food and water and generators. And after that, our commitment is long-term solutions for housing. So we have designed a beautiful, resilient house and we want to build it. We want to build it with our own funds because we want people to see it, to touch it. We want to see how is it to build a resilient house in Puerto Rico. We have identified 3 towns where we're going to build and donate that house to families. We're also looking at a multifamily project, and I would love to do another senior housing. I would love to do another courtyard. The seniors right now in Palacio Dorado are having an incredible, beautiful time in that courtyard, and we're really seeing the effect that a healthy environment, the outcomes in health. So these seniors are dancing salsa in the courtyard. We have a partnership with a federally qualified health center that has an exam room in the premises. So we're also providing primary care in Palacio Dorado. So if I can replicate that across the island, I would love to, as long as it's, of course, in collaboration with the local people.
Very, very ambitious agenda. I'm glad to hear. But here at Puerto Rican Voices, we also interview the organization Habitat, which goes to some of the same rehab needs and connections to the local partners and so forth. So let's watch a clip, and then we'll discuss at the end, at the other end.
Pues Habitat for Humanity de Puerto Rico es una colaboración para poder darle la ayuda y la oportunidad de ser dueño de su propia vivienda a familias trabajadoras de escasos recursos económicos.
Yo nunca había vivido un huracán tan grande, salir para afuera el otro día, ver cómo había cambiado Puerto Rico.
La rehabilitación de esta casa costó $60,000. Nosotros le hicimos la casa completa, tiene sellado de techo completo, luz, electricidad. La idea es que tenga una casa que ya no tenga que preocuparse, excepto por el mantenimiento normal que tendría cualquier dueño de familia. La familia que es seleccionada tiene que completar 320 horas en la construcción de su vivienda, 80 horas en talleres educativos que le dan las herramientas para ser un dueño de vivienda responsable, porque pasan a ser dueñas, porque la idea es que tenga un activo para progresar en la vida. Al igual que se le ofrece una hipoteca de 25 años sin interés, los pagos, dependiendo del municipio donde está localizada la propiedad, son de $100 a $250. Y la idea con ese requisito también es que ayuden a otras familias a poder también tener el beneficio. Tenemos, gracias a Dios, el apoyo de nuestra matriz de Habitat for Humanity International. Vamos a estar trabajando en 4 temas. Vamos a estar haciendo rehabilitación de vivienda, nueva construcción. Vamos a estar apoyando un programa de tenencia de titularidad y un programa de capacitación. Encontramos que tenemos que ayudar a las familias a que estén más educadas en exigir un producto de calidad. También a las personas que ellos contraten, que también los ayudemos a que construyan productos de calidad. Y también que lo que nosotros podemos aportar, que es construcción, cómo podemos también aportar que sea una fuente de empleo. Tenemos programas que trabajan en el adiestramiento de mujeres y también de jóvenes y de individuos que quieran aprender destrezas de construcción. La idea primordial es que no importa de qué manera lo tratamos de conseguir. Queremos que esto sea símbolo de esperanza, de alegría, los colores que tiene la casa y de lo que podemos hacer posible si nos unimos. Queremos que las familias tengan la oportunidad de tener una vivienda digna y segura para el resto de sus vidas, para que cuando llegue otro desastre natural no tengan que salir corriendo.
Coming up next at Puerto Rican Voices.
He was able to pull people together.
He was also one that did not focus solely on the Puerto Rican experience in New York, but made bridges to what was happening on the island, what was happening internationally.
I think he got his power from being so rooted in the community.
He changed the discourse. He made us talk about ourselves in broader terms.
Welcome back to Puerto Rican Voices.
Limaris, about 18% of the housing units in Puerto Rico are vacant. So I find that this type of efforts, one home at a time, to rehab and then give to a family in needs is very important. And I know ACACIA has engaged in some of that effort and is planning to do more on that effort. So what is your take on this type of effort, moving forward in Puerto Rico?
I think Puerto Rico needs all of us to invest and to make contributions. I think they all welcome projects like ACACIA, projects like Habitat for Humanity. The need it's big, and it's going to take all of us together to build one house at a time, to provide some happiness to families in Puerto Rico. So these are great efforts.
And we need many, many models, right? So one of the models that we would like to highlight today is called Puerto Rico Rises, and it's about how grassroots efforts actually can also contribute to the housing, crisis in Puerto Rico, solving that crisis and making those vacant units available to populations in need. So let's watch this clip about Puerto Rico Rises.
Puerto Rico Rises empezó el día antes de Irma. Sabíamos que venía algo, o entendíamos que venía algo inminente, así que aprovechando mi background de negocios, monté página, hice logo, creé el nombre y puse un anuncio en las redes sociales. Así que cuando llegó María, ya la mitad del proceso estaba y en cuestión de 2 o 3 días ya teníamos 35 coordinadores de ciudad en todos los Estados Unidos sirviendo de voluntarios. Puerto Rico Rises tiene 12 programas. Con tus manos es el programa que ayuda a la reconstrucción de las viviendas.
Me dio miedo, ella se puso a llorar y a gritar. Yo, cógelo con calma, cógelo, al ver las cosas que le están cayendo. Pues ella, estate tranquila, que vamos a salir, gracias a Dios, vamos a salir bien. Pero estaba loco por salir de ahí porque me tenían loco los ratones y muchas cosas.
Las primeras veces que vinimos aquí, desconciertos, sombríos, llevaban meses y aquí no paraba nadie a ayudarlos. ¿Ya te estaba extrañando? Tenemos que empezar a sacar a nuestra gente de la depresión y del trauma post-María. Estos RVMs se montan en 25 minutos. Viene como si fuera un Lego para adultos. Viene por piezas y se van montando poco a poco. Aguantan vientos de 100 millas por hora. El techo son 3 capas de material ultravioleta y por la forma del techo y el material del piso, lo que está circulando alrededor es aire fresco, aire frío. Y son una excelente alternativa para las personas que no tienen un techo donde vivir ahora, son estos cuartitos solares.
Nosotros estamos viviendo en la casita móvil hace 4 semanas.
Los proyectos que tenemos van a tomar de 8 a 12 semanas su complexión. Una vez esté terminado, desmontamos la casita y en este caso Vicente y Carmen Victoria van a ir con nosotros a la próxima familia a entregárselo. La idea de esto es que tanto Nené como Carmen puedan ver dónde ellos estaban hace unas semanas y dónde se encuentran ahora, y eso les dé fuerza y poder de que ya lo peor pasó y que esta familia que está recibiendo de ellos pueda nutrirse, ¿no?, de las experiencias y de la anécdota de un sobreviviente anterior, que les deje saber, mira, te estoy trayendo el cuartito solar, fue mi hogar durante el tiempo que sea y vas a estar bien porque ya yo tengo mi casita, tú también vas a tener la tuya.
Pero muy agradecido de ella, porque ella era la que agregó con todo.
Coming up next at Puerto Rican Voices.
The first story that I heard from my grandmother's lips, Bertha Martina, has been my golden key in opening doors for me everywhere.
It is just a fundamentally unique experience to read about characters that you can identify with. If you just read what she published, you would only have a fraction of a very skewed view of what she was writing. Thank goodness we have her archives here.
Welcome back to Puerto Rican Voices.
Limaris, these examples of volunteers pretty much making a difference in Puerto Rico are very inspiring. Mm-hmm. And here you can see that is one home at a time. But this particular clip of Puerto Rico Rises, it's about the elderly population and the disadvantage that they have when they are in remote areas and so forth. So can you relate that to your experience?
Yeah. I saw that across the island. It still breaks my heart. They suffer a lot. They were left alone. They did not want to leave their house, no matter how fragile that house was. That's where they raised their kids and their families. So we saw a lot of that. They did not flashes, so they were having candles. I remember having the team that we have in Puerto Rico telling them, don't use candles. We need to give you like other type of things. They did not have water. They really struggle. So it is beautiful to see, especially a woman that took the lead of this initiative. It's nice to see.
Well, Limaris, unfortunately, we're running out of time, but I thank you so much for being here today with us. It's wonderful the work that you did as developer-in-chief down there. It's wonderful the work that ACACIA did and is planning to do. And I think that that example is reflective of hundreds of organizations in the diaspora that are taking direct action to make a difference in Puerto Rico as we rebuild the island and the economy there. So we're very proud here at Puerto Rican Voices to highlight the efforts of all of you, and especially in this needed sector of housing. So thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
And to our audience, thank you for joining us today, and we hope to see you in our next episode.